Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Petridge. Welcome to another P3D video, and today I'm going to be talking about the hardware. This is an intro to a new series I'll be doing, focusing strictly on the hardware of the PC for flight simulation. We're here in Vietnam. We're just doing a quick flight in the Aero Commander, just as some sort of background. As I talk about what the series is. So if you're getting very laggy performance, or you feel like your hardware could be doing better for your flight sim, then this series we're going to go through piece by piece each piece of hardware. So we're going to be looking at the CPU and the power settings in Windows. We're going to be looking at your GPU and how that works with your monitors. We're going to be looking at your memory and how you can optimize it with Windows, and we're going to be looking at your motherboard settings and your cooling, as well as what sim you're using and where you've installed it versus what kind of storage space you'll be looking. So each one of these 5 aspects will have its own video, and we're going to go in depth and talk about how you can get the very best from your hardware for your flight sim PC. Flight simulation, guys, is very, very intensive on your hardware. So you've got your CPU has to do loads of calculations, and most flight sims are kind of almost bound to the CPU in the way it does things. There's only a couple of flight sims out there which you can actually hand off work to your GPU to alleviate, say, the CPU having to work so hard and throttle up. But not many do this, though. Most will just be bound by a single core CPU, or I think P3D may only be the only flight sim that allows you to actually thread across all your cores, or select which cores you want to use. But like I said, flight simulation, very intensive on your hardware. Now, Windows comes with a default setting for your PC, for your hardware. If you're using these default profiles in the power settings, like if you're using max performance or power saving or whatever profile for power you're using for your PC, you're leaving so much performance on the table, because these are blanketed default profiles. These aren't specific to your specific setup. You know, there are so many different configurations out there of which CPU and GPU and memory and motherboard you can use, like combined with your monitor and your SSD drives or your hard drives or your whatever storage space you're using. There's thousands of different configurations, so to have a specific profile for every setup would be impossible for Windows. So they give these very blanketed default profiles which only sort of get half of the performance out of your hardware, and so you're leaving so much on the table. And of course, you know, flight simulation, like I said, is very intensive. But not only that, if there's an update, things change, and you need to understand the changes to be able to roll with it and sort of reconfigure your hardware per change. So, like, you know, if the developer of the flight sim suddenly shifts workload from, say, your CPU to your GPU, and you've got things set up for your CPU, then your GPU is going to be sitting there idle. Or sorry, won't be sitting there idle, will have things to do but not the power to do it with. So you'll get a lot of stutters, and I see a lot of people after updates say, oh man, performance has gone down and performance is really in the toilet. But on the flip side, it can go in the good way, and you know, it can benefit your particular setup. So like, I think a lot of people forget that yes, you can set up your hardware, so we can go out and get a 4090 and combine that with a really top quality CPU, but you need to set up your Windows installation as well to get the very best out of your hardware, to maximize the performance for your software. You have to really tweak your operating system. So I've done loads of videos on how to tweak Windows for flight simulation, but I've never done it for the hardware. So the series coming up is going to be specific for your hardware. I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks on how you can get the most FPS from your hardware for your flight simulation. I really don't recommend using the default profiles. Like I said, they're just blanketed defaults where, you know, it doesn't utilize the most of your hardware, and it's really for safety reasons, really, because nobody should be maxing out any of their GPU or CPU 100%. Like, that's just going to cause a fire if you haven't got adequate cooling, and I've seen videos of people's PCs catching fire. You know, cooling is so important as well. What type of cooling, and productive cooling for the future. In other words, one that you don't have to constantly be flushing and maintaining. You know, I've seen somebody try and cool a CPU using you know, what's it called, that really cold substance like nitrogen or something, like something really ridiculous, to try and get 8 gigahertz of performance from their CPU. Like, I don't recommend overclocking your CPU one bit. And I'm going to go through each of all these steps within all the videos forthcoming. There's going to be 5 videos. Each one is specific, so one will be focusing on the CPU and the power settings, the other one will be focusing on the GPU with your monitor, another video focusing on the memory and how you can set it up with the Windows operating system, another video talking about specifically about cooling and the motherboard and how you can actually tweak your motherboard safely to gain more performance and to set up your hardware appropriately, as well as storage space, and talking more about the Windows operating system versus where you install your sim, because I feel that is very, very important. So join me in the next few videos where I will be, you know, talking very specifically to each piece of hardware. There are 5 main components to a flight sim setup's hardware for your PC that you really need to be looking into. And it doesn't matter what sim you use. It makes no difference if you're using P3D, XPLANE, or Microsoft. This is your hardware we're talking about for a very, very intensive and specific piece of software. So if you can run flight simulation well, you can play any video game at maximum ultra settings. And again, this doesn't really matter what hardware you've got. You could have the worst GPU or you could have the best GPU. The setup of how you tweak it will be the same, and how and what options you use in your simulator will also be similar no matter what video card you have got, because like your graphics card basically generates everything rendered, you know, but it also does other jobs as well. So if it can't render in time with the other jobs it's got to do, something's got to give, and so you can get lag or stutters or even crashes when it can't do its job properly. And it might not be able to do its job properly because it hasn't got the power behind it in order to do it. It knows what it's got to do, but it just hasn't got enough power to do it with. So I guess your PSU is very important as well, but we'll talk about that alongside the motherboard and the cooling. But yeah, basically that's it. So I'm gonna land this plane, I think. So there should be an airport somewhere around here. The fires, by the way, are breaking out. This is part of a Vietnam War pack that I've got for P3D version 5. I also use it in version 6. There's the airport. We'll do a turn here and we'll land this puppy. But yeah, this pack is really cool. There's lots of military stuff as well in P3D that you can take advantage of. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Now, don't forget, I do a giveaway for Sim Market for €50 worth of vouchers every single month on my channel. And if you want to be in with a chance to win on this giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down in any of my flight simulation videos, and at the end of every single month I go live with a vlog and I announce the winner. So if you want to be in with it, you've got to play the game. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will say goodbye now so I can focus on this landing. Here we go, guys. Oh, this is gonna be rough stuff. This is very steep. Look at that. Oh my gosh, here we go. Oh, would you pull up? Oh, they're nice and easy. Look at that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.